Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 32 of the Dragon Rider podcast. We are your hosts, Heeroh and Ajoten. How are you doing today, sir?
Picked myself up a bit of a cough, but otherwise I'm fine. How's about yourself?
Also doing good, and yeah, we just seen Dragon Ball Super Hero in the cinema yesterday. An early access viewing in the UK, so we're going to talk about it in this episode. So spoiler alert if you haven't already seen the title. We're going to be talking about stuff that's spoiler related.
Gonna go a bit wild with it, aren't we?
Yeah, because we've seen the Japanese version, but now we've seen the English version, and we've got way more context now since we speak English, believe it or not. So yeah, we're going to be discussing it. So let's get started with Roshi's rant.
Let's go.
This is Roshi's rant.
So this is Roshi's rant, the first segment of the podcast where we deep dive into a particular topic regarding Dragon Ball. And this week we're talking about superhero again, believe it or not, because yeah, we talked about this episodes ago when it first came out in Japan, but now it's been released in the UK. Well, as of recording, it's like the day before this video is released. It's on the Thursday, but we seen it the day before on the Wednesday. Yeah. We had early access tickets to go see it in 4DX, which was an experience, which we'll get to. So yeah, there will be spoilers. You've been warned. But we're going to talk about the film here.
Literally a step-by-step here coming.
Yeah, so I loved it. I loved the film again. You know, I mean, seeing it in Japanese, it was all right, but obviously not the same experience.
Yeah,
and
let's just say the picture quality that we saw it in was lacking. We'll say that.
Yeah, let's put it that way. And not having subtitles at the time, we were kind of going on instinct alone.
Yeah, if you haven't seen our original video on it, you'll know that there were no subtitles on. You should go back and watch it because it's literally we don't speak Japanese. We had no subtitles. We watched it and then we watched
Goresh's review. Yeah, where he kind of explained it in a bit more detail.
Yeah, and so we kind of had a context after the fact and built it from there to give our opinions based on that.
Mm-hmm.
So now, having seen the UK version, we understand things a lot more.
Yeah, because there was a lot of extra little details that were missed as well that Goresh didn't mention, because obviously he can speak Japanese, but he's not like fluent, and just because the exact lines and stuff of the Japanese version aren't going to be exactly the same, some of the humor might be lost, some tiny little details here and there might be lost in translation as well. So now we've got it all cleared up and we understand. So that's good. And yeah, I want to talk about it because I don't know how to start this. How should we start this? Should we just go from the start of the film and work our way through?
We should. I think we really just should. I think that's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
I think the first thing is point out we did it in 4DX. That was part of the experience.
Yeah.
I've never done 4DX before.
No, this was my time as well. First time as well.
For those who don't know, because I didn't know this, 4DX makes it like a mini roller coaster. Basically, your seat moves.
Yeah.
It blasts air at you. There's smoke.
There's water.
Yeah, it can splash air at you if you want. I did not want that.
No.
It really adds to the experience, especially when you're in a Dragon Ball movie.
Yeah, and there's like little like pads on the back of the seat as well. So when there's punches, you can feel it a little bit in the back. Because I felt that and I was like, oh, all right. It's like a mini massage kind of, but also your seat's doing this all the time, all the way through the film when there's fight scenes.
Just don't, if you have back pain or something like that, I probably wouldn't advise it.
Yeah.
And again, I suppose it's like a massage.
Yeah.
But you're literally like, it's not slight movement, like it's real movement. So it really adds to the experience.
Yeah.
I thought I wouldn't like it when at the very start, but no, it really added to it.
Yeah, it did. I had a smile on my face all the way throughout the film because even though I've seen it and I love Dragon Ball, so I love the film anyway, so I was smiling. But also the 4DX added to that experience because every time there was a fight scene or something happened, or even I think it was Pan early on, she was like jumping up and down, and every time she jumped, the seat just went up. I was like, all right, yeah. Just the little movements even made the seat move.
Just a little bippy bopping. Like, it was just. It added to her excitement. Yeah. But I think the first thing is finding out that really confirmation of things like if we're getting straight into the film itself, is the introduction is what I enjoyed, is hearing about the introduction of Goku and the story.
Yeah, the whole backstory of the Red Ribbon Army. Yeah, it's all good stuff.
It's a proper introduction of the past, of the history of OG Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and
upscaled, re-rendered graphics as well. It's like, yes.
It's literally like it's the joke of when the movie budget kicks in.
Yeah,
it looks beautiful.
It does.
All of it looks fantastic, and it just sounds great. And it is a perfect introduction into the film as well, because it's all relevant.
Yeah.
With Dr. Gero and everything like that, and it flows perfectly into Dr. Heeroh.
Yeah.
And
how his introduction.
Yeah, in being Dr. Gero's grandson. And I just think that it's great. It is clean. It's very clean, and I like it.
Yeah.
I very much thought it was very well done. I like the introduction of how they've slipped in Android 21 as potential, even though it's not technically Android 21. It's Vomi as Dr. Gero's wife, because it means that whilst Android 21's not technically canon, her human counterpart is.
Yeah.
Because it means that we've got a potential villain.
Future villain,
for the future, who is a fan favorite from the games. And I think she could be interesting if she does end up coming in. It wouldn't surprise me if she did end up coming in.
I mean, personally, I don't know if she's really needed at this point. I don't think she'll ever be that strong enough to be a massive but I don't know enough about her, to be honest. She's a game character in games that I don't really play. So it's like, okay, I don't know her.
I think it'll probably be it should be a side villain, if anything, ever.
Yeah.
I think things have escalated too far. If she was. She'd be a side story villain. I don't think she'd ever threaten people like Goku, or by this point, Piccolo or Gohan.
Yeah. Or maybe even Dr. Heeroh, since it is his grandma, I guess.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But little details straight away that one knew that I wasn't aware of is like why Dr. Heeroh was in prison. We should state as well, he's 24 years old. He's young. I mean, he looks a bit like a kid anyway, but he is only 24 years old. And he was in prison because he was trying to make androids, and he reanimated dead people and put them to work in a convenience store. And then the police found out and were like, you can't do that. So they put him in prison. And that's why he was in there. Just because he wanted to, get better at robotics and reanimation and that type of thing.
But the thing is, he didn't do it he didn't do it to rob a bank or anything like that.
No.
Like, he didn't do it in an evil way.
No.
He knew, so he wasn't being evil about it.
He just wanted to see if he could do it.
He's showing you that he's not evil.
Yeah.
From the get-go. He's actually he's using his genius, so to speak, to be good, and then he's just misguided. He's very, very misguided.
Yeah, he's on that the scale. He is a chaotic good, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe chaotic neutral at best.
Yeah. But he's definitely chaotic.
Yeah.
Because when the Red Ribbon Army go to find him, and he's leaving, because they can't actually recruit him immediately because he's in prison.
Yeah.
They have to wait 3 months, and then they go pick him up outside of prison. And when they pick him up, he's throwing a grenade in prison into the prison at the bad guys because they've been bullying him.
Yeah.
So obviously he's not afraid to hurt bad guys. He's quite happy to hurt the bad guys. So he's definitely chaotic. So he has no qualms about hurting bad people.
Yeah. And he was very hesitant to kind of join Red Ribbon as well. Like he's
very aware of who they are as well.
He outright states that he didn't really know Dr. Gero, like he was too young at the time, didn't care about him, and he is not the reason why he's interested in androids. He made that perfectly clear. He sees Jiro as being very smart, but then he says, "Yes, but if he's a genius, I'm a super genius."
Yeah, he doesn't actually know that Cell was a bad android.
Yeah.
He didn't know. Yeah, he didn't know that Cell was bad. He didn't know any of that. He knows that basically all he knows is that Red Ribbon Army has a history of being the bad guys. He doesn't know much about Capsule Corps, other than that they're Capsule Corps.
Yeah.
And he just basically knows nothing about his grandfather's history. He just knows that something was happening with his grandfather, but he doesn't know the history of Cell. He was too young. He doesn't know.
Yeah.
And he just wants to further his research. So he just doesn't trust Red Ribbon at all.
Because, like Carmine and what's his name? Magenta. They're just trying to convince him that he should join because they're making up lies, pretty much saying, "Oh, the Capsule Corp have all these aliens and they're doing bad things and they're going to try and take over the world at some point when they're ready for it." To try and convince Dr. Heeroh to make some more androids to fight back.
And they actually show him a clip of future Trunks, fighting Frieza and killing Frieza.
As proof that they're aliens.
Yeah. So technically, basically, he convinces him through that because he convinces him that Dr. Giro created Cell as a defense mechanism. So it basically, they manipulated him.
Yeah.
And he's not 100% convinced. And what tips him over the edge is that his greed to want to further his own research.
Yeah, and that they would fund him.
Yeah.
Because he had no money and he had no way of making money. Because that was another thing. He was working in different labs and they kept kicking him out because he doesn't really work well with others. And he just didn't have any funding to continue his studies. So now he joins basically because Red Ribbon will give him as much money as he needs.
So he knows that the Red Ribbon aren't particularly good people.
Yeah.
But he also I think he genuinely believes that Capsule Corps aren't good either.
Yeah.
I think he believes that Red Ribbon are bad, Capsule Corps are worse, and also he's willing to go with Red Ribbon because they'll give him his research.
Yeah, and then also Carmine threatens him with a gun in the front seat. He's like, "Yeah, you better join with a gun," and he points at him. And then Dr. Heeroh states that, "Yeah, I mean, I've injected my skin so that I can take the impact. So, your bullets, they don't threaten me."
Yeah.
So basically he's got indestructible skin.
Yeah, he's got super skin.
Yeah.
And a bee, and he has a mechanical bee that basically can kill anything.
Yeah.
Anything remotely organic.
If it stings you, then you die, pretty much.
Yeah. It's like a surveillance bee that he can basically watch with anything, so he's not worried whatsoever.
Yeah. Smart guy.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, but then we cut to Piccolo, and we see him just chilling. He gets a phone call from Vidal, and Vidal asks if he can pick up Pan from school because she is teaching fighting at a school. She's like a fight teacher, pretty much. That's a thing that she is now. I can't remember.
She's not just a housewife.
Yeah, she doesn't say martial arts.
Oh no, actually, you're not training Pan first. She hasn't been to preschool yet.
Ah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm skipping ahead.
We cut to Piccolo and Pan first.
Yeah, I'm skipping ahead.
Yes, we cut to trainer Piccolo first. So Piccolo is now a trainer. He is training once again. He's continuing the lessons, and he's training Pan now. And he's training the same way Piccolo is wont to train. And he's basically once again throwing children into rocks.
Yeah. He's like, "You're all right."
So basically, so Pan's doing a good little job. She's throwing herself about. She's throwing about her kicks. She's looking tough. She's doing a good job. But Piccolo's not pulling his punches, and he literally just throws her into some rocks. But she's tough. She's doing well. Yeah. But she's getting frustrated. She wants to learn Ki. She wants to catch up. She's about the same age as Goten and Trunks when they were starting to turn Super Saiyan.
Yeah, she's 3 in this film.
Yeah, she's lagging behind. She can't fly yet. She can't use ki, anything like that. She's frustrated.
And Piccolo even says, "Let's try and work on you flying before we work on ki blasts."
Yeah, he won't teach her.
Yeah.
And he gets her to try, and she tries, and she fails.
Yeah.
And she just gets frustrated. And then they have a discussion about Gohan. Because she asks, is it true that Gohan could be stronger than Granddad or Grandpa? And Piccolo looks confused because he's not used to hearing all this Grandpa talk.
Goku. Okay.
But he basically says, technically, yes, it's true, but
he doesn't think he can live up to it these days.
Yeah,
that's what he says. He's not sure if he can be anymore.
Yeah, he's basically he just totally calls out Gohan.
Yeah,
this is the essence of this film. Is just Piccolo absolutely calling out Gohan the entire film.
Yeah.
It's just pretty much an hour, like almost an hour and a half of Piccolo calling out Gohan until he finally does something.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
And then we've got Pan actually getting sent off to school. I would like to point out at this point that I actually like Pan in this film.
Me too. She's a good character.
I have had issues with the younger kids in Dragon Ball. Goten, Trunks, I don't like them as characters. I find them loud and annoying and everything like that. Pan, I was okay with. I thought she was she's what I expect as a kid character. I didn't find her annoying or anything like that. I actually found her quite funny a couple of times. She had a cute dynamic with Piccolo and stuff like that. Like, I just enjoyed her as a character, which I was very surprised at. I was worried they'd ruin her as a character. I thought she would just be a Goten 2.0. I like it. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
So I know I like her. I think she's a bit different from the rest of them.
Yeah, they gave her something to do in this film. She was a focus throughout the film, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's kind of like a mini badass, and I like that. Yeah. She like holds her own a little bit, and I like that. So no, I like that. She has a nice dynamic with Piccolo, which I like. Because the thing is, like, all you had with Goten and Trunks is they're just two little guys who just go off and be annoying together. Whereas Pan has a dynamic with one of the adults, which I like. So she has interactions. So I like that.
Yeah.
So I think she might take over that. If she's going to be in the show more, I think she'll take over that with Piccolo rather than Gohan, maybe.
Yeah, potentially. I could see that. Yeah. But, yeah, I guess now cutting back to what I first started talking about.
Yeah, because then he tells her to get lost and go to preschool, and then she flies off super fast. So she's obviously
runs off, not fly yet.
Yeah, sorry. Flies as in runs really, really fast.
Yeah.
So she's got like super speed as in running down. Yeah. So she can run super fast. So she's obviously getting some abilities down. So yes. And then we cut back to Piccolo.
Yeah, because Vidal calls him up on the phone and is like, "Hey, can you pick Pan up from school? Like, I'm teaching class tonight." And Gohan's currently working at home. Actually, no, Piccolo says, "Well, what's Gohan doing?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's busy at home. He's like, he can't look after his own kid. You need me again."
Basically.
Yeah. And then, Vidal's trying to bribe him, like, "Oh, we can get you one of those plushies that you really like." And he's like, I never wanted one of those plushies.
They collect them plushies now. I don't know why they collect them plushies, but they love collecting plushies.
Yeah.
He does not like them.
No. He's got a big pile of probably about 10 plus plushies, but he never wanted them. And he states to Vidal that, "I never wanted any plushies."
But I do like that they've given something back to Vidal. She now teaches a fighting class. So it's like, rather than just being the happy little housewife, she's like getting back into fighting a bit. it would be cool if she got back into fighting, because it was quite cool when she was fighting.
Yeah,
I did like that. But then she just kind of went and just did the whole housewife thing, and it's like, but you were cool when you were fighting. Go be a fighter again. So I would like if she started doing that again. Not
that there's anything wrong with being a housewife at all, but yeah, like, as far as her character went, she did just get downplayed, because when she was a fighter, she was a focus, and then when she was a housewife, she just wasn't involved at all anymore, which was a shame, because people
in a fighting anime, it's cool
course.
when you're a fighter.
Yeah. So it's good to see she's still keeping up with some training at least, and teaching maybe the next generation of fighters as well. But then that's the last we see of Vidal in this entire film after that phone call.
True facts.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Piccolo runs off to see Gohan to kind of confront him about why.
He does not go and get Pan immediately, does he?
No.
He has choice words for Gohan first.
Yeah, he's like, "What the hell, man? What are you doing? Why are you not going to pick up your kid? Why am I doing it again?" And Gohan's basically saying, "Look, I'm a biologist. That's his thing now. He's a biologist. He's looking into these ants that go golden, and he's calling them super Saiyans.
Yeah, Super Saiyan. Yeah, they turn golden, which is kind of I think it's kind of a precursor of what's going to happen to our soon-to-be orange boy later in the film.
Yeah, but that's an interesting side note anyway, that like Gohan is a biologist now. That's his thing. That's what he does. He's a recluse. He's a stay-at-home guy. You know, he doesn't work in an office or anything. He just stays at home and studies all the time. And no one's really seen him in a few weeks because he's just stayed at home. That's where he's been. So Piccolo's annoyed that he hasn't been keeping up with training, and he thinks he's weak. And he goes to punch him, and Gohan blocks it. He says, "Yeah, I'm not that bad," and then Piccolo punches him in the gut, and he's like, "Ah!"
Immediately, like with
off guard,
downs him. Yeah,
and then Piccolo like clothes beam and puts like Piccolo's gear on Gohan, and Gohan's like falling to the floor, and he's like, "God, this is heavy." And Piccolo's just like, "Yeah, wasn't that heavy when you were a kid?" And he's like, "Oh,
absolute burn!" Like, can't even handle it when can handle it when he's a kid and not an adult.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
And like, so he leaves. He still agrees to pick her up, and then they obviously, "We'll still get you one of them plushies. I never wanted one in the first place."
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. But we cut back to more of the Red Ribbon guys, and where they start explaining the plan to Dr. Hedo in more detail. They bring up on the screen that the Capsule Corp's strongest warriors for world domination. We have Goku, we have Vegeta, we have Majin Buu, and we have Hercule, Mr. Satan as well, because, you know, they're talking about Goku and Vegeta and Majin Buu, like the evil Majin Buu, and they're talking about, "Oh, Hercule, he could also be an alien. We're not quite sure of his power yet."
They're not 100% sure if he was actually involved in the Cell incident, like how involved he actually was.
Yeah.
They don't know. They don't actually know that he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. So they're wary of Mr. Satan. They're not sure just how strong he is.
Yeah. Because they do actually realize later on that Gohan is actually an unknown element, and that they do realize that he was the one that finished off Cell. So they do actually know that it was Gohan that killed Cell. So whilst they don't address it immediately right then and there, they do know it was Gohan as well.
Yeah,
he is the dangerous one. So they are aware of Gohan as well.
Yeah, but then they set their targets onto Demon King Piccolo, as they keep mentioning him as. And next thing we see, Piccolo sitting on top of a mountain, you know, just chilling as he always does, just meditating. And
waiting for school to end.
Yeah, and boom, big beam blast blows up the top of the rock. And we're introduced to Gamma 2, who comes onto the scene and is like, "Demon King Piccolo, how you doing?" And Piccolo straight away is like, "Nope, that's not me. I mean, that was me, but it's not me anymore. That was previous me." And Gamma 2's just like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "I don't need to get it."
Can't be bothered to explain it.
Yeah. And then Piccolo's like, "Oh, I see your red ribbon." He's like, oh wow, you figured that out quick. He's like, who are you? And he's Gamma 2's like, don't need to answer that. That's classified.
Like, neither of them are going to tell each other anything.
Yeah.
It's just a totally classified conversation.
Yeah.
The entire time.
Yeah.
So, but Gamma wasn't actually supposed to kill Piccolo.
No.
He was literally only supposed to fight him to test his strength.
That wasn't until Piccolo started annoying him, and then he's like, plans change.
Yeah, and because he noticed the red ribbon insignia, which is stupid, because he shouldn't have put the red ribbon insignia on him, but because he noticed that and he recognized it, Gamma had to kill him.
Yeah. So he tries, and there's a big fight scene, and in the middle, Piccolo says, "Why can I see your sound effects?" Which is a funny little line. I like that because I didn't know that was even said in the Japanese version at all.
You got the kablamos and the booms and everything like that. But it turns out, Piccolo can actually see that.
Yeah, and then nice little thing. Skim forward slightly. When Gamma is back at the Red Ribbon base, we see like he's kind of off to the side, and Carmine and the other one, Magenta, were talking to each other, and like the Gammas were at the side, and he's striking all the poses and stuff, and he's got like a mini hologram that appears behind him of like pow and boom and all that stuff. So it's like he makes a hologram come behind him, so that's how Piccolo sees the moves. When he hits people, little holograms appear behind him.
Yeah, Heeroh loves the superhero idea so much.
Yeah.
That he's installed that into the android.
Yeah, he openly admits he loves superheroes. He's inspired by them. He loves the style and the costumes and stuff, and that's why Gamma 1 and 2 were made.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back to the fight anyway, because we'll skip forward a bit there. Gamma gets upper hand. Massive shot from the laser, blows up Piccolo, and he thinks, "Wow, I've just turned him into dust." Well, that's that done. And he heads back to the base, but in reality, Piccolo's just like zoomed away, out of sight.
Literally behind him.
Yeah.
So the scan obviously shows he's dead, or not vaporized, but he's just behind him.
So Piccolo's kind of just saying like, okay, well, I can't leave him here. I need to follow suit and see what's going on. So he follows them back to the Red Ribbon base, and he knocks out one of the Red Ribbon workers, steals his outfit, leaves him just naked in the middle of the
and then the next 15 minutes are Metal Gear Piccolo.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Infiltrating the
Metal
base.
Gear Solid Piccolo edition.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so he's dressed up in the gear. He goes in, and Red Ribbon have this secret base that you can't see until you're actually inside it.
Kind of like Wakanda, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically Wakanda Red Ribbon edition. They've got this whole like mountain top area, which it looks like a lake on top of a mountain, but when you fly closer in, it's actually like a full industrial like city, I guess.
Complex,
complex.
Massive, giant complex.
Yeah, so Piccolo's going in, and that's when he finds out more about how their plan is to like take over not take over, but like defeat Capsule Corp, and this is when you're introduced to Gamma 1 as well. You find out there's 2 Gammas, of course, because we see Gamma 2 first. But Gamma 2 is the more playful one, definitely like the Spider-Man of the thing, less serious, making jokes quite constantly, whereas Gamma 1 is the serious guy. Let's call him Captain America in this case. And he's all
business.
Yeah, he's all business. He just wants to get the job done. But for justice, they both have the same ideologies, that they're doing the right thing. They are superheroes. They don't believe they're bad guys in any way, because that's how Dr. Heeroh has programmed them. They're to do the right thing.
But they're not mindless by any means. They are literally like, they are 100% sentient, like 100%. Yeah. Like they throughout the film, like you tell they have like emotions and everything like that. There is 100% sentience there. Like when you say Heeroh is like a super genius, he has made actual sentient beings in these two. They are people. They are both people, like 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, like they are people who are there for justice.
Yeah.
But Gamma 2 is stupidly playful and daft as anything, and One
constantly
is
striking poses, whereas
Yeah.
one's just like stand like, come on, just be serious for a second.
He's just embarrassed. He's like, he's got the stupid friend, and he's just like, just please, just stop.
Mm.
Like literally the entire time you've got like you've got Magenta and Heeroh having this entire conversation about the introduction of Cell Max,
Which Piccolo's shocked at.
Yeah, because this is what Magenta wants. Like Heeroh has created the Gammas, and he believes that through the power of what Gamma has demonstrated he's done with the Demon King Piccolo and how easily he's defeated him, that this is all that's needed. But there was a contingency made that Magenta wanted, and so Heeroh made Cell Max. And Heeroh does not like it. He does not want to focus on it. He doesn't want to use it. He's not interested in it, but he made it anyway.
Yeah. And Magenta is constantly asking, like, can we just release him now? Can we just, speed things up a bit? And Hedo's constantly saying, like, look, he's not ready yet. He's made out of cells. You need time for it to work properly. Yes, his body is there, but he isn't quite ready yet. We still need to get his mind in check and everything else to make sure he is safe for use, even though he is going to be a wrecking ball of a machine.
Yeah, if I released him now, he'd basically just doom the world.
Yeah.
Like, you can't release him now. Yeah. And it's just, but basically, the entire time they're having this conversation in the background, you can just see Gamma 2 just
throwing poses.
Yeah, throwing poses and being stupid, and you've just got Gamma 1 just trying to tell him to stop.
Yeah, just straighten up. Just stand straight.
It's kind of hard to focus on the conversation when you're just too busy watching Gamma 2 and Gamma 1 in the background.
Yeah. But then Magenta turns his attention to Gohan. He says, okay, let's target another member of the Capsule Corp warriors, and says, Gohan, he's a strong fighter. We are aware that he is the one who took out Cell, so he's definitely strong. And they say, he has a daughter. Let's kidnap her, so then that'll lure him here. And Dr. Heeroh straight away is like, that's an awful plan. We can't kidnap a kid. That's not right. And the Gammas too are both like, no, we can't do that. But Magenta kind of convinces we need to do this, and it's the Red Ribbon Army members who are going to go and kidnap Pan, which is when Piccolo volunteers himself, because of course he can keep Pan safe, and he's not actually going to let her be kidnapped. So he volunteers himself and gets selected to go on this kidnap mission.
But not before having slipped away to see Bulma.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. He slipped away to try and get the attention of Vegeta and Goku. Made a quick FaceTime call to Bulma to see if they're there, but unfortunately, they are, not surprisingly, off planet.
Yeah.
And then cuts to Beerus's homeworld.
Yeah, which is the first look of Goku and Vegeta in this film, which they're not around for long, maybe 10-15 minutes at most, but they are here slightly.
Yeah, and it's the first person we see on that planet is not Beerus. Is not Vegeta, and it is not Goku. It is a very screamy, very angry Brawley.
Yeah, the Brawley's there. He's training.
And he has not controlled his anger yet.
No, Goku. The first thing you see, Broly screaming, and Goku's just there like, whoa, calm down, calm down.
Yeah. So basically, what Goku expositionally gives away is that he is getting better at it, but he's still doing it.
Yeah, he can't quite control his anger yet.
Yeah, he keeps fighting, but he keeps just getting too excited.
Yeah, and then we see Vegeta just meditating on a rock, and Goku's like, come on, Vegeta, what are you doing? You're just wasting time sitting there. And Vegeta explains, we have seen so many strong fighters these days. Like, do you not remember Jiren in the Tournament of Power? He reserved his energy by staying still and letting his body almost act on instinct when an attack came in. And that's what Vegeta's trying to do. He's trying to conserve as much energy as possible by not moving until he really needs to in a fight.
Because apparently, Jiren was not that much stronger in raw power to Goku and Vegeta.
Which is interesting, because in the Tournament of Power, Jiren was a monster. He seemed at least a lot stronger than Goku and Vegeta. Yeah. But also, this is a way for it to make sense. Jiren just didn't use any of his energy, which he didn't, really. Goku and Vegeta were doing so much fighting before they even got to Jiren. So yeah, he just reserved his energy, and that's what made him so strong.
So basically, what they were saying he was doing is he was just focusing his fighting techniques, and he was just honing the way he was fighting. And as he was explaining this to Goku just did not seem remotely convinced, and he was kind of bored of the explanation he was getting from Vegeta. But Whis just appears and just he's very impressed with what Vegeta's saying.
Oh, they finally figured it out.
Yeah. Basically, 100% congratulates Vegeta until, of course, he does a Whis and mocks him and says, "Shame it took you so long to work it out, though." Because he's Whis.
Yeah.
So mocks him to bits. Beerus turns up, wants to know why everything's so loud. Also, explanation gives away how long it's been. Yeah.
He's been asleep for 4 months, because yes, we say, "Oh, how long was I sleeping for?" And then we say, "Oh, yeah, about 4 months."
Yeah. So, and then he wants to know what all the noise is about. Finds out Brawley's on his planet and is not happy about that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Is he afraid of Brawley, do you think?
I don't think he's afraid of Brawley. It's just, as they even say, like, "Don't worry, we brought him here because we didn't want Frieza to find Brawley and try and take revenge, and we figured this would be the safest place because Frieza's not going to come to a God of Destruction's planet." So that's why they're there.
Yeah, but they actually live there now.
Pretty much, yeah.
So yeah, but I didn't realize this from the other videos, is they actually live there. So they weren't visiting there to train. Chila and Brawley, and I keep forgetting that other guy's name.
I keep forgetting his name as well. I was trying to think that as well. I can't remember.
So they've actually been, so they've actually been, they outright now live on Beerus's homeworld.
Which, to be fair, they don't really have anywhere else to go.
No, so they haven't. I mean, what was the other planet called? I can't remember. It wasn't a very nice.
The planet that Brawley was on? Yeah, I don't know. But there wasn't really much life or anything there.
No, so I think that's why they were okay living there. So yeah, they're okay there. I mean, they then earn their place officially because Brawley's mate turns out to be an amazing cook.
Yeah.
Which Beerus loves. Also, Beerus then decides to fall in love with Chila.
Yeah. And Whis says, "Oh yes, Lord Beerus has a type. I'm surprised you haven't realized this yet." Like, what? When have we ever seen Beerus like even show any sort of interest towards anyone? So
yeah, I don't know if I'm missing something there.
Yeah, it's like the only female that they could be hinting at is Bulma, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah, like
he hasn't really interacted with any other female.
The first thing he did when he met her was slap her. So like,
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, Chila is just like, yeah, I like this one.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose they have similar hairstyles, I guess. Don't they?
Like, Whis is like, "Oh, he's got a type." I was like, "What's his type?" What is it? What is his type?
Yeah, I guess it could be Bulma. Maybe. But yes, so he's very, very keen, as you can tell in this film by watching it. He's very keen on Chila. So Brawley, Fish Boy, and Chila are not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
And then it is suggested by Whis that there is a triple threat match between Brawley, Goku, and Vegeta, which Goku very quickly slaps down.
Yeah, it's like, nope, Broly's not ready yet.
Supported very quickly by Vegeta as well.
Yeah, it's like, if Brawley fights and we lose control of his anger, this planet will be gone. Are you sure you want to do this, Whis? And we say, good point.
But then instead we suggest a mano a mano between Goku and Vegeta. No power-ups, no ki, no nothing. Just straight up fists, nothing else. And that's it. And they have that after a meal, of course. And it's a good fight. They start out, but it turns out it's going to be a long fight. Brawley gets told to basically sit down and watch, and you can tell that Brawley's really enjoying the fight. He's very intensely watching.
He's into it.
He's learning. You think he'd be frustrated having to watch.
Whis even says, like, look, Brawley, this is how you fight without blowing things up.
But you can tell he's really learning a lot of things from it. Like, you'd think he'd be really annoyed that he can't get involved, but he's not. He's watching, he's learning. You can tell he's getting something from it. He's not just like, he doesn't just want to be this raw instinct animal. He wants to learn to be a fighter. So he's really enjoying it. And then it focuses back to the actual fight, and Beerus then calls out something of Vegeta. He says it's subtle, but there's something different about the way Vegeta's fighting. And it's basically going to show that his fighting style's changed. And it's pointing out, obviously, that in the meditation that he's been doing, it looks like it's been paying off. And I think it's hinting that basically he's starting to try and do what Jiren's been doing. So it's hinting at something else.
Maybe a new transformation.
Ultra
ego.
But yes, so we'll come back to that later. But they do say it's going to be a long fight, so they do cut away. And we don't come back to that for a long time. So, and that's it. That's literally all you get from them till
the post-credits.
Literally the post-credits. That's it from the film. Film-wise, that's all you get from Goku and Vegeta.
The thing is, Bulma's trying to contact them, but because they're eating ice cream while watching the fight, a tub of ice cream gets put on top of Whis' staff, and they can't see the incoming call, and then that's how they can't get in contact. Which, of course. They don't reply because of food. Makes sense. The world's ending, but food blocks that.
So, Piccolo knows that he's not going to be able to get Goku and Vegeta. He can't really rely on Gohan. He knows he's going to have to be the one to fight, probably. He knows that Pan's going to get abducted. He knows it's probably going to be up to him. He knows he's going to have to go pick up... He's going to have to be the one to go pick up Pan, so he needs one last-ditch effort before he goes kidnap Pan. So...
He goes and sees Dende.
He goes and sees Dende.
Well, actually, he doesn't. First, he goes and sees Yajirobe and Korin. To get some sensu beans, and Korin only has 2. I was like, you've got one job, Korin. How come you only have 2 beans? What's going on here? Like, what have you been doing this whole time?
When was the last time you even used any?
Like, the world has been fine for at least 4 months since Beerus last slept, and we assume that was straight after the Tournament of Power. So what has Korin been doing this whole time, making beans? He made 2. Or he only has 2. Where's the rest gone? Or does it just take months and months to have even 1 bean?
Them some serious beans, like.
You would think, since they're such a valuable asset, that they will be constantly churning them out. Like, proper factory process to get as many as possible. Capsule Corp should get that and just sort something out so there's constant
stream. Even if they're not 100% top tier beans, they can just eat multiple beans.
But anyway, he gets 2, then goes visits Dende and asks about if he can get his potential unlocked, like how Gohan and Piccolo did back on planet Namek.
Because Dende is the same clan as Elder Guru.
And Dende explains, well, we can only do that once we've hit a certain age, so sorry, can't do that yet. But the dragon might be able to do it. So, Dende is aware that Bulma has all 7 balls, and he decided, you know what, I can probably change up the dragon a bit to make sure that it's possible for the dragon to do.
in the worst explanation I've ever heard in my life.
It's like, I made the dragon go from 1 wish to 3, so I can probably make him better. I'll just do it again.
Yeah, those are pretty much the exact words he uses.
Yeah.
Like there is no variation there. I think the exact phrase he uses is, I upgraded Shenron once from 1 wish to 3 wishes, so I'll just upgrade him again.
Yeah. It's like, well, why don't you just constantly upgrade him then?
Yeah.
Make him all powerful.
Like he didn't say now that I'm older I can do it again or anything like that. He literally just said, so I could just upgrade him again.
Yeah, it's like, well, why don't you just upgrade and give you 10 wishes instead of 3 now instead or anything else? Why not? But
I literally I struggled to. I was sitting next to Heeroh, yeah, and I think you almost might have heard me like chuckle to myself when I did it.
Yeah. But Dende just comes out with the Shenron little like statue thing inside the glass case and a vial of water, and he just pours the water on. Shenron glows, and then it's like, yep, he's stronger now, he's better. And then, okay, then so Piccolo flies off to go see Bulma and the 7 Dragon Balls to get his wishes, and he does. First thing, straight away, Shenron pops up and he's like, speak your way. Oh, hey Piccolo. And he's like, oh
yeah.
Okay.
I like that touch, by the way. I really like that touch, is the fact that he actually knows Piccolo.
Yeah.
Like, because
I guess it's like, yeah, because he's Kami. And it's weird, like throughout this film, Piccolo references, oh, when I was Kami, and oh, when I was Demon King Piccolo. It's like, but I'm not them anymore. It's like, oh, he's never said that before. He's never said back when I was Kami or anything. He's been like, no, I'm Piccolo.
I think it's because this is a Piccolo film. It is Piccolo's film, as much as people say it's Gohan's film.
It's 100% Piccolo. Piccolo is the main.
Yeah, this is Piccolo's film. As much as people say it's Gohan's transformation, stuff like that, this is a Piccolo film. Yeah,
Piccolo and Gohan is like Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Piccolo is Simon Pegg in this film, but Nick Frost, Gohan is just as important pretty much. But he's not the main.
But yeah, it's because it's coming. So basically, the dragon, like, he typically says, speak your wish and everything like that. He doesn't even finish that sentence. He immediately recognizes Piccolo, stops speaking halfway, and just says, hello, Piccolo, you all right? What do you want? And I like that. I like that touch. It's little things like that that I always appreciate. So I really like that.
Yeah.
So he was just like, hi, Piccolo, what do you want? How can I help?
And Piccolo straight away, he wishes for his potential to be unlocked, and Shenron's just like, yep, okay, no problem, here you go, boom. Piccolo's like, whoa, I'm feeling good, I feel strong.
The thing is, he likes Piccolo so much that he doesn't just do that.
Yeah,
he says, yeah, I'll do that for you,
and something extra.
He even says, and I gave you something extra.
And
you're like, oh, so he didn't just unlock his potential. Shenron likes him so much, he's giving him something extra.
Hint for the future. And then Shenron's like, okay, what's your second wish? And Piccolo's like,
I've got nothing.
Anything. Yeah, Bulma, you want to use them? And Bulma's like, yep, definitely. So she jumps in, and her first wish was like, she wants a badonkadonk. She wants it. And Shenron's like,
she wants the buns of when she was
a college girl or something like that. What's she say?
When she was in college.
Yeah, it was like, okay, this is a kids' film, remember?
Shenron's like, okay, you have better buns, and Shenron actually says the word buns.
Yeah, and Piccolo's just like, you using this for cosmetics? Are you serious?
Like, don't judge me. It's like, I judge you. I don't care if Shenron or Piccolo. I judge.
It's like, you're really this petty?
Yes, I judge the writers right now.
Yeah. And then she gets the wish, and then she's got another wish, and she's like, oh, I want to increase my eyelashes by 2 millimeters. Actually, no, wait.
Yeah,
did she do that one?
It was wrinkled, but then she changed her mind to eyelashes.
Yeah, I want those wrinkles removed. And then she's like, actually, no, I want my eyelashes slightly longer. And then Shenron's like, yep, there you go. And Piccolo just can't believe it. And then after Shenron's gone, they realize, wait, we could have just wished Goku and Vegeta back here. Yeah. Like, did you, like, Bulma's freaking out because Piccolo's just like, we could have just wished Goku and Vegeta back here. And Bulma's like, oh, you didn't think of that either. Yeah.
Bulma realized it before Piccolo did.
Yeah.
Well, oh.
And yeah, Bulma's fighting back like, well, yeah, but you didn't think of it, so, you know, we're both just as bad as each other. And Piccolo's like, oh, yeah, he's backing off slowly. He's like, yeah, I've got to go pick up Pan from the school, actually.
I'll be 100% fair. Until they actually said it, I didn't think of it.
No, I didn't think of it. You don't in the moment, I guess. But yeah, I mean, they used it to get all the Namekians on Earth when planet Namek blew up, so they can transport people.
No, 100%.
And bring people back to life as well. So yeah, they could have just transported Goku and Vegeta across, but they didn't. They didn't even need to do like 2 wishes, one for Goku, one for Vegeta. They could have brought one back, and then they would have instantly been like, well, if they brought Goku back first, Goku could have been like, oh, you need me? Yeah, instant transmission back. Vegeta, there's trouble a brew, and just bring him back as well. Bring Brawley.
Yeah. Don't bring Brawley. That would have been an error.
Yeah, but yeah, they didn't think of that. They can't contact them. And then we see Piccolo kidnapping Pan.
Yeah, he heads back, goes and gets him, and then it all begins.
Yeah. Pan instantly recognizes Piccolo. Like, oh, hey, Piccolo. And Piccolo takes off his like face guard and like, oh, you recognize me. He's like, yeah, I sense your energy. Like, okay, we've got a plan here. We're going to make your dad try and, you know, be strong again.
Not after she recognizes the Red Ribbon Army soldier first with Piccolo.
Yeah,
and she one-shots him.
Yeah,
this is why I'm a fan of the new Pan.
Yeah, she knocks him out and turns to a teacher who's standing there. It's like, I don't know this man at all. Like,
literal stranger danger. She one-shots this like 10-foot. Like 300-kilogram beast of a man, just one shot, absolute one shot. I loved it.
Yeah, I love the line of like, I don't know this man at all.
She's like, I don't know this man at all. Hey, Piccolo.
Yeah, and even the teachers is like, oh, hey, Piccolo, Mr. Piccolo. Like, I'm glad you're here and all this stuff.
And then,
so how often is Piccolo going up to the school? That
totally explained away. Mr. Satan's training exercise. He takes the security of his family very seriously, and the teacher's just like, oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah, but he's on first name basis with the teacher because like, oh, hey, Janet, yeah, I'm here to pick up Pan, don't worry about it, it's just Mr. Satan. It's like, how often is Piccolo picking up Pan that he's on first name basis with the teacher? Come on.
Yeah, I love that. Piccolo just, hey, Janet.
Yeah, but yeah, he takes back Pan, explains the plan, like, oh, just put these handcuffs on, we're going to pretend that you're like kidnapped and everything, don't worry about it, just to get your dad here and everything. And then yeah, the two guys, well, Piccolo and the other guy go to Gohan after Pan's been kidnapped to try and like convince him to come back. And it's like Piccolo's standing at his window and he's like, wait, Gohan doesn't know it's me? Like, you can't believe that he's been that like lazy with training that he doesn't even recognize that it's Piccolo when Pan did straight away.
Yeah. Pan recognizes his key. That's how she noticed it was him. She didn't see him. She recognizes his energy, and Gohan didn't.
Yeah,
that's how annoyed he was.
Yeah.
So he was raging basically. But anyway,
they do manage to convince Gohan to come back to the base anyway,
because they show him a video of Pan in handcuffs. And
Gohan, Daddy, please come help me or save me or something. Yeah.
So he's like, basically, they're pointing a gun at him, and he's just like, "Can you get off my property? I don't know you." Obviously, because he's not threatened. It's a gun.
He's just like, I can beat you up. Like, that's fine. Just take me over there, please.
Yeah, but then then they show him a video of Pan, and he
erupts.
Yes, you start seeing old Gohan a bit.
Yeah.
He turns Super Saiyan. He basically, the energy pours out of him. It starts blowing up the ground underneath, as we know, when energy, and it basically sinks half of his house almost. And which is unfortunate. I hope he has insurance for that. Super Saiyan insurance.
I mean, Mr. Satan's rich, so he can just pay for it.
And so yeah, basically, then they ride for the Red Ribbon base, and basically the second that Gohan sees Pan, he just basically bursts out of the plane.
He blows up the ship, and Piccolo obviously escapes, but we don't see the other guy anymore. It's like, did Gohan just kill that innocent? Well, not innocent, but that grunt who was like flying the plane, because the plane instantly blows up, and obviously Piccolo just flies out of there. But that other guy, we don't see him anymore. It's like, oh, okay,
I'm going to assume Piccolo was somewhat a good guy and caught him. But
yeah, maybe.
The explosion probably killed him.
There's a chance.
Anime.
Yeah. And we never see him again.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's kind of skip introductions almost, and it's just straight into a fight. Gamma 1. Yeah, Magenta's just like, Gamma 1, you're up, take him out. And yeah, they go straight into a brawl. And it's kind of even for a little while.
But I think Gamma 1's more playing with him than anything else.
Yeah.
Because Gohan's in base. He dropped. He's not in Super Saiyan at the start. And Gamma 1's, he's just, yeah, like you said, it's even, but he's like, they're just talking as they're fighting, and it's just very, very quickly. It's obviously he's outmatched, and it's just he's slowly just getting battered and battered and battered.
Yeah. And then he tries to go Super Saiyan, and Gamma 1's still like, "What is this? All you've got? Like, you're not going to be able to beat me."
Yeah, it's just not enough.
Yeah, and Gamma, throughout this fight as well, Gamma 1's saying, "I'm here to take you down, the evil Capsule Corporation," and all this, like army and all this stuff. And Gohan all the way through is like, "What are you talking about? This is nonsense," and all this stuff.
And I think the thing is, he raises small points, like saying things like, "But you're the one that like captured the kid,
yeah,
and stuff." So there's small points that do capture Gamma's attention a little bit.
That makes Gamma think like.
And the only real response he has is like, "I'm following orders."
Yeah, he's like, "Stop lying. We know you're the bad guy."
Yeah, like the only response he has is "Stop lying" and stuff like that. And so it's kind of like he doesn't have an argument for it. And so this goes on for a little bit, and Piccolo notices, right, Gohan's losing, and he's going to lose, so we have to do something.
Yeah. So
by this point, he's standing next to Pan, and he's right, okay, so I've got to use the go-to, which is Angry Gohan. Now, I'm going to pretend to hurt you, Pan. Pretend to be hurt. So he picks up Pan, and he's like, "Pretend to be hurt. Cry out." And so they do that, and she screams, and our boy goes
ultimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically the rain clears because it's been raining, it's dark, and it's full daytime. Everything is bright. You can see it's looking good, it's looking clean. Our boy's looking good. And he's powerful.
Yes.
And he starts winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is when Magenta says, "Okay, Gamma 2, you need to get in there and help out." So it's about to be a 2-on-1 fight, but then Piccolo jumps in. He's like, "Nope, it's not going to be 2-on-1 here." And Piccolo reveals himself, and Gohan's just like, "Piccolo, you're here?" He's like, "Yeah, I've been here the whole time."
You would know that if you were actually training and paying attention.
Yeah.
And he goes up against 2, and it's a rematch. And despite having his potential unlocked and being yellowish, Piccolo now.
Yeah, it's like a lime green, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, he's turned a slightly different color. He's not orange yet. He's just kind of slightly yellow. He holds his own for a little bit, but it's just not enough. But all he's doing for the most part is, while he's fighting, he's not really fighting, is he's talking to Gamma 2, and he's trying to convince him that they're not the bad guys.
Yeah. He even says, like, "I know there's a good person in there, I can tell."
Yeah. And he's pointing out that, like, you know there's something's not right.
Yeah.
And you can see he's getting through to him. And you can see Gamma 2's getting really, really frustrated.
Yeah, like confused,
just
like,
screaming at him.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, like just like stop lying, he's screaming, and he's like, and Gamma 2's like really hammering him because I think he's getting so frustrated because he knows he's right. And he can't put his finger on what's not right. And he just wants him to shut up more than anything else because he's convincing him. And I think this goes back to what I was saying earlier, is because Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 aren't, they're people, and they know, and they don't just want to follow orders. They want to be good people. They want to be superheroes.
They want to be actual superheroes, yeah.
Yeah. And so for the fact that they know something's not right, the fact that they're using kids and stuff like that, and they're seeing what the Red Ribbon Army are doing, it's not adding up. They're not really seeing anything of what Gohan and Piccolo and that are doing. They're convincing that they are actually bad guys. Yeah, it's just not adding up. And Gamma 2 defeats Piccolo. He outright beats him, and he just hammers him. And at the time, they're fighting on a train, on this train track on a bridge, and he just basically hits him so hard and knocks him off the bridge. And Piccolo just flies into the darkness.
Yeah, he's free falling, and as he falls, you see a little like mini flashback of Shenron saying, "And I gave you something extra." And he's awoken. He's got the power of Shenron, and the little symbol comes on his back, the little circle with like the tree, which is like the Namekian symbol apparently. And yeah, he gets awoken and he turns bigger and orange. And he's basically the Thing out of the Fantastic Four now. And
yeah, it's like there's an explosion of fire from down in the abyss of where where the bridge above where the train was, and just everybody just stops fighting. And it's just this hulking mass of orange Piccolo walks out.
Yeah, and then Gamma 2 continues trying to assault him. And he's literally going all out, punching him as much as he can in the midsection, because now Piccolo's a lot bigger. So he's punching him basically just above the belt, right in his stomach. And Piccolo's just standing there, not even moving. And then he just one shot, bam, and Gamma 2 goes down. Like, wow. Yeah. Okay.
And I think it's at this point that after how things have been discussed, and now that I've seen the English version, and how I understand how strong the Gammas are, I think I can definitely come to say that Orange Piccolo is definitely at least as strong as the blue God. I'm definitely at least comfortable saying that. I think there's no without a doubt. I don't know what I can say higher than that or anything like that, but I think there's without a doubt he's definitely blue God status.
Yeah.
Because like just the fact of how we one-shot them, because he's like Ultimate Gohan is because obviously like Ultimate Gohan can beat the androids, can beat Gamma and everything that way, and the blue gods are stronger than Ultimate Gohan. But it was how easily Piccolo defeated the Gammas. Yeah.
And this was the turning point in the film for the Gammas and for Dr. Heeroh as well, because Magenta screams out to the army, like, shoot him! So they all start shooting at Piccolo. Piccolo just stands there, and his head just turns around to look at Magenta and Carmine, and they just hit run. And they're just running back. And Dr. Heeroh is just standing there like, that's his clicking moment, I think.
Because Pan breaks her cuffs and chases after Carmine.
Yeah.
And Carmine shoots at Pan.
Yeah. And
Gamma 2's got up at this point.
Yeah.
Because Gamma 2 got hurt. He got battered, to be fair. But he's not dead. It really hurt him.
Yeah.
But he got up. But he saw Carmine do that. And he did not like that at all. And yeah, this is the turning point.
Yeah.
For the film.
So they go on retreat pretty much. And Dr. Heeroh is just watching them escape. and they realize that, well, he realizes that they're going to Cell pretty much, so he chases off after them as well. And I think we missed a little important point during the fight between Gamma 1 and Gohan. Gamma 1 explains that even though he is an android, his energy, he can go all out at 100%. Just like 17 and 18, we've already established they have kind of like unlimited energy, and that's how they can keep going and going and going. Mm-hmm. But there must be a slight difference with these androids, like the Gammas, because Gamma 1 says, I'm about at, he says, I'm at a healthy 86%.
Yeah, they said they can fight from when they are at, from right until they have used all of their energy. They can go all out until they have expended completely all of their energy. Yeah. And he said, currently, I'm at 86%. And Gohan was like, right.
Yeah.
Great.
So it's like, I wonder if Android 17 and 18 have the same thing. I don't think so, because they do just keep going and going and going. So this must be a new thing for the Gammas, at least. I wonder how that works. Do they get recharged? Do they just plug into a wall?
Then again, Gammas are much stronger.
They are much stronger, yeah. But they must need some sort of recharge or something to go back up, or just rest. But yeah, they can go all out until they have 0 energy left. But yeah, we see Magenta with Max Cell, the pod, trying to release him, and Dr. Heeroh jumps in. He's like, you can't do that, he's not ready, and all this stuff, and how dare you. We realize how bad he is finally, and he tries to stop him. And Magenta turns around with a gun, bang, bang, bang. I've wanted to do this since I first met you.
Surprisingly violent, actually, the way he does it. Like, he shoots him once, he falls down, and then he literally
double taps
him. Finish it. He puts in 2 extra bullets. Yeah.
And it's like, this is a kids' film, and we just see someone get executed, pretty much.
Yeah.
So he just shoots him 3 times. He turns around back to the computer to try and release him, and Dr. Heeroh just jumps back up. He's like, yeah, I've modified my skin. I don't feel... Yeah, like, I'm good. And then Magenta says, yeah, well, you're not the only one who's adapted and stuff. And he takes off his suit and he reveals that he's basically half robot as well. His entire upper torso and arms are just robotic. Yeah. So that was an interesting twist.
Yeah. He's looking to basically fight him and crush him.
Yeah.
But as previously mentioned, Heeroh has his little bee.
Yeah. And he just calls on the bee. The bee stings him in the neck, since his neck isn't robotic, it's just normal. And you see Magenta instantly start to freak out and like squirm and everything, and slowly turn more and more green as he's getting poisoned.
Yeah, and Heeroh's kind of just, he's bragging a bit.
Yeah.
And he turns his back, and Magenta's final death throws, he presses
he punches the machine so it like overloads pretty much and releases Cell. Yeah.
Unfortunate.
And Dr. Heeroh sees this just as Magenta collapses after he's punched it, and he's trying to stop it, and he's like, I can't do anything, it's broken, it's too late. And massive explosion, I guess, as Cell is released. And yeah, there's an explosion. Dr. Heeroh goes flying again. Actually, does he? No, he doesn't. He flies up on his little bike thing first out of there. As Cell is about to be released. And he quickly warns them, because at this point the Gammas have stopped fighting with Gohan and Piccolo. And he just explained, like, because they've realized they're on the same team now, kind of. They've realized their mistakes. He's like, Cell Max has been released! And it's like, oh, okay. And then there's a big explosion, and Cell rises out, this giant red and green Christmas tree of a monster. And he doesn't speak, he just roars. And we have Max Cell.
Yes, that's roaring.
For the final chapter of the movie.
And just before Cell Max has erupted, what's happening is that to the side, as all this is going on, is Bulma's arriving with the cavalry, even though all the fight's pretty much over, is she's brought Trunks and Goten and Ajoten and Krillin.
Yeah, and
in her words,
she said, "Oh, I've brought the strongest warriors." And Krillin's here too. It's like, oh god, Krillin's like, hey, the boys back at the office think I'm pretty strong. Yeah,
absolutely brutal. However, Trunks and Goten are teenagers now, or at least look it.
And they explain it really well, which is something that you kind of miss in the Japanese version. Well, if you don't speak Japanese, at least. But Gohan quickly explains it away because Piccolo sees them and he's like, I know that's Trunks, but is that Goten? He can't quite believe it. Like, he said, I know I haven't seen them in a while, but they're really this much bigger now? And Gohan explains it perfectly because he says, yeah, well, Saiyans, they stay small for a long time and then they get an instant growth spurt and become a lot bigger, which makes perfect sense. Because that's what happened to Goku. He went away for a little while when he was a kid, came back as like a young adult, I guess, and he was so much bigger and no one even recognized him. And I guess it happened with Gohan as well. After the Cell saga, he's still like a teenager there, he's small, and then we see him in the Buu saga, he's much bigger. He's basically an adult now at this point, where he's Saiyaman.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, completely different, much taller and stuff. So the teens are around now.
Yeah, but no, they look good as well.
They do. Yeah, I like the character models.
Yeah, pretty much Trunks looks as much as you'd expect him, but
just looks like Trunks.
Yeah, but Goten, no, I like how Goten looks. He looks pretty cool.
They've finally made him look different from Goku. He has a different hairstyle. Finally, he looks unique. He's wearing different clothing as well. He's not just mini Goku 2.0.
Yeah, he has his own identity, which I like.
Yeah, finally. Yeah. Which is good.
And he's a bit more. They're both a bit more chill.
Yeah.
Which I like. I mean, they don't speak loads.
No, they don't get too much focus in this.
No, but
individually at least.
Yeah, but they both seem a bit more less intense.
Yeah.
Which I would like to see more of.
Yeah. So Cell arrives and they all jump into the fight, and Krillin's like, yeah, well, just stay here protecting Bulma and Pan, don't worry about it. And then Bulma's just like, yeah, you finally found something useful to do. Like, oh god, alright, Krillin bashing day today. Yeah, it's like, I know you've known each other since you were little kids, but still, his pride, come on, it's a good thing he's not Vegeta. But yeah, everyone jumps in for the attack on Cell. And yeah, Goten and Trunks are like, we should fuse. And Goten even says like, oh, we haven't done this in a while, but let's do it. And the fusion, and yeah, doesn't quite work. Their fingers, one on top of the other, they didn't quite connect perfectly, And of course, Fat Gotenks arrives. And he tries to go Super Saiyan, and he's like, nothing happens.
Doesn't work.
Yeah. And he's like, okay.
I hate Fat Gotenks.
Same here. But he wasn't as annoying in this, to be honest. I mean, yeah, he pulled a few jokes. And there was definitely one too many jokes because he rips his pants. But, yeah.
Oh, they should have just done Gotenks. Like,
I mean,
yeah. Gotenks would have been cool.
Would have been, but I guess they can save that for the actual show. Like, a full reveal where he gets a full, like, showing properly. I think if Gotenks did appear, he would have been able to do a lot more. And yeah, it wasn't the time. It wasn't the time.
I suppose it would have been well overpowered. You wouldn't even. You probably wouldn't have even needed. Like, go on.
No, probably not.
Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks probably would have been well overpowered here.
Yeah, but the Gammas reveal that Dr. Hedo implemented a failsafe in the Cell, where he has a weak head, and that's the point where you should aim for. The top of his head is his weak point. So aim for that, and gotta remember though, once you've hit the head and damaged him, defeated him, he will explode, so make sure you're out of danger. That's one thing they stressed.
As in nuclear blast type explosion.
Yeah.
So it will incinerate like any of the characters if they are there.
Yeah. So, kind of skipping through it slightly, but there's not really too much to mention. There is a big fight scene that happens. This is Toriyama notes right here. And then there was a fight scene.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, there was a big fight scene. It all goes down, and yeah, they realize
they struggled to break the head, like despite hitting it lots.
Yeah, and Cell's throwing out explosions and stuff, and Dr. Heeroh is down, and they realize that he isn't quite dead, even though Gamma 1 thinks he is dead. But Gamma 2 is throw it back to the start. I was like, you didn't confirm your kill. Gamma 2 is saying, yeah, you didn't confirm the kill. Dr. Heeroh is still alive. I was like, yeah. And then Gamma 2, sorry, is like, okay, I'm gonna do like just
the superhero thing.
I'm gonna power up. I'm gonna aim for the head, and you'll know when it's coming. Distract them, and you'll know. And yeah, he goes up in the air, full like out of Earth's atmosphere.
He goes up in space.
Yeah, out of Earth's atmosphere, and he's charging up. He's got like this blue glow all around him, which is a really cool moment.
They go. I think this is the most CGI they use in the entire film.
Yeah.
So like anyone who's remotely interested in this film will have obviously seen the CGI that they're using for the film. However, with this, it is pure CGI that they use as his aura to make it different. And I think what they're doing is the 82% or 86% that there were references for his energy. I think for Gamma 1's energy, I think they're pulling that and saying like he's using 100% of whatever Gamma 2 had. He's putting that 100% into this attack.
Yeah. Everything he had remaining, it was in this one attack.
Yeah. And basically, he's up in space, and basically he powers down, flying down at Cell's head.
And Cell gets his arm up, and Gamma's like going into his arm, and Cell's trying to hold him up, and he does for a few seconds, and then he cleans through his arm, but doesn't quite hit the head. Cell's arm is gone. He's ripped it off, but Gamma 2's down, and he seems to be out of the fight. The energy's been drained from him, the color's been drained from him. Like, they definitely grayscale him a bit at that point. Like, his blue cape isn't as blue anymore, his orange jumpsuit is not as orange.
Yeah, he's like full grey, he's done. Strange side note, this is clearly not the Cell we know. And it should be noticed as a side note, this Cell is semi-perfect Cell. It's not perfect Cell.
Which makes sense, because he wasn't ready to be released yet. So he was semi-perfect at this point.
But anyway, going back. So the Cell that they have, it's not the Cell that we know, because
it's not. It's a different Cell. Yeah, like people
regenerate the arm.
People thought, oh, Cell's return in this film is going to be the same as Cell, like the perfect Cell that we all know and love. But no, it's a different Cell. He doesn't have the same memories. He doesn't speak at all. He is literally just a beast in this. That just kind of happens to look a bit like him. He doesn't even look like him that much. He's a big version of semi-perfect Cell, but different colors as well.
But but it's like, really, I think he's just a robot. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
Because he loses his arm, he doesn't regrow the arm or anything like that, because it just drops off and that's it. It's even robotics at the end of the arm. Like it's not. So there's no indication of regeneration. So it's in no way. So it's kind of weird how it's called Cell, because Cell is Cell.
Yeah.
I don't really understand why they went with Cell. Like,
I'm not sure.
None of the indicators point towards why it would be Cell, other than the fact that fan service.
Yeah, I guess.
Other than the weird thing is this is the least favorite Cell, because it's like Cell's regeneration is because of it's made up of cells. Yet this is a robot. It's the least favorite model, and I know I've heard somebody say it's Toriyama's favorite version, but the fans' least favorite.
Yeah.
It just roars a lot. No charisma. I don't like it as a final.
No, neither do I. But after Gamma 2's done his sacrifice, Cell goes to step on him, and Piccolo jumps in and he's holding his foot up to not crush him. And then he's struggling a bit, he's losing it, and Krillin jumps in as well, also hold up his foot. And he just says, "Go big." And Piccolo's like, "What?" He's like, "Remember in the World Martial Arts Tournament, you can go big?" And Piccolo's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot I can do that." And he goes, whoop, 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 whoop. He got a mushroom from Mario. And yeah, he's massive now, basically the same size as Max Cell. And yeah, he does body him. He throws this giant red pillar just on top of Cell. And then it's like
It pins him for a little bit.
Yeah, it pins him down, which gives Gohan a chance to talk to him. And he's like, "Oh wow, Piccolo, you're so much bigger now. Does this mean you're a lot more powerful?" And Piccolo's just like, no, it's just a bluff. The size doesn't make any difference." So,
yeah, it was literally the only reason he managed to to throw him off is for leverage.
Yeah,
it was just leverage, really.
Basically, yeah. And Piccolo fishes out the sensu beam that he has and just puts it. He's got it on one finger to Gohan, and Gohan picks it up, eats it. So he's back at full power at this point. Instantly goes ultimate. And then they're back in the fight straight away. No messing around. Straight back in the fight. And yeah, and then there was a big fight, part 2.
But, he gives him the sensu beam because he says that he has to basically stand and charge himself up. He has to charge his power.
Yeah.
For one single attack.
Yeah.
So basically, Gohan's not allowed to attack.
The line I really like there is that he says, "You've got to hit him with a big attack, like the Kamehameha or something." I was like,
yeah, or whatever.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah,
okay.
Or something like that.
You don't see Gohan using the Kamehameha, but okay.
Yeah. So he's telling Gohan, "You're not allowed to attack. You have to stand there and charge, and attack." So he has to basically stand and watch whilst Piccolo
tries to go one-on-one.
Yeah.
And he's just getting beaten up.
And you've got 18, Krillin and Gotenks and everybody watching. And Gotenks is the first to break, and he can't watch anymore, and he rushes. And because he's Gotenks, he gets immediately battered. Fat Gotenks, he gets battered away. 18 goes in, and Krillin, and they all.
Yeah,
so
he
basically
grabs 18, flings her around, and smacks her into Krillin, and they both go flying down together.
So basically, Gohan is just watching everybody he loves. Just nigh on die.
Because Piccolo goes back in again, and Max Cell rips his arm off. Well, he beam blasts his arm off. So Piccolo's down an arm as well, and you see the blood pouring out of his mouth and stuff. And you think Piccolo's about to be down and out, and he even turns to, because Gohan's about to jump in. He's like, "No, I've got this. Don't worry about it.
Keep charging."
Yeah. And then he keeps getting beaten down, and then Cell finally gets what looks to be the death blow. He's holding him up, which looks like when Goku had Nappa above his head, and Nappa's just lying down like on top of him.
Piccolo's eyes,
Piccolo's
eyes are pure white.
Yeah, and he just throws him down to the floor. And that's the breaking point for Gohan.
Yeah, and then the ping happens, and it's the Cell Saga.
The red light, the transformation. Yeah, he goes all out.
And then the big roar happens, which no doubt everyone has seen. If you've been on Twitter, you will have seen it happen, no doubt.
You know what the transformation looks like.
Yeah.
You've seen how long and ridiculous his hair is.
yeah, that's silly hair.
Yeah.
And Cell sees it, and he's not happy. And he takes a swing at Gohan, and I noticed it. I noticed this because it threw me back to the Cell Saga. The original Cell Saga is when Gohan unlocks, he's dumb. He enjoys it far too much. He's smiling and he enjoys it, and when he breaks, and basically so this Cell, when he broke, he this Max Cell, he had this huge, powerful bomb. Basically, he was getting ready to throw on the planet, and this newly unlocked Beast Gohan he's just smiling, and he's just looking at this Max Cell, and he's just like, I can kill you.
Yeah,
I know I can kill you.
It's almost back to Vegeta and Android 15. But he's like, do androids feel fear?
Yeah. But it's like, it's just like, it's literally, it harkens back to when Gohan originally unleashed Super Saiyan 2 against Perfect Cell the first time. Yeah. And he was toying with Cell the first time. It was like, that ended badly. It's like, when he unlocks that potential, he becomes, he enjoys it, he embraces it too much. And Piccolo, it turns out, and he's just watching him, enjoying it, embracing it, reveling in this power too much. And I noticed that, and I like, it was, I was thinking on that, and then these arms appear from nowhere.
Just one stretchy arm. It flies and wraps around Cell. I was like, oh, got him.
And it turns out, our boy Piccolo, he's not dead.
Yeah, he is alive. He's remembered. He's got stretchy arms again as well.
Yeah, which we've not seen again for a little while.
Yeah,
since the Universe 7 tournament, I think.
Yeah,
Universe 7 tournament against Frost.
So he's finally holding Cell in place.
Yeah, and he has to shout. He has to shout at Gohan.
Gohan, no.
Yeah, to actually reel him back in, and that's what gets Gohan's attention again.
Yeah,
and only then does he stop, like smiling and everything like that. And that's when he decides to charge his attack.
Yeah,
and what attack does he use?
Yeah, because you're thinking, is he going to go with the Kamehameha like Piccolo suggested? Is it going to be the Masenko? What's it going to be? But no. Special Beam Kanon takes him out, sniper bullet to the head, and this rocks Cell. Obviously, it takes his head off. He decapitates him pretty much. He scalps him, and that's it. Cell down for the count. That's the end. And quickly, like, they don't even have time to celebrate the Gamma.
Well, they
Gamma
to,
1.
but then Gamma 1 shouts at them. He's like,
"What you doing? Blow.
I just told you he's gonna blow."
Yeah. So they all start like flying away, and you see Cell getting big, ready to explode, just like what Perfect Cell did when he self-destructed. He started blowing up in size, and then giant explosion, and they're all kind of flying away. Some of them are getting covered in the debris, of course, and Krillin grabs Bulma, but Pan is too far away. He says, "Pan, you've got to fly," and Pan finally flies to dodge the blasts of the explosion, which is great. She finally learns how to fly at the perfect moment. Yeah. But then after the rubble all clears and everything, everyone survives the blast, and they all go down to celebrate. And Gohan and Piccolo stand there in the new forms, and they like kind of just switch them off. Hey Piccolo, I've seen you there. You're looking pretty orange. What is that? You need a name for it, something similar. Super Saiyan? Piccolo's like, I was orange? Yeah, just call it Orange Piccolo.
Like, I don't care. I'm not vain like you.
Yeah. It's like, okay. And Piccolo doesn't actually mention the fact that Gohan gets a new form. I found that quite interesting. He doesn't say that, oh, you were in a new form. He just doesn't really say anything.
Gohan seems very aware of his hair, though.
Yeah.
He's like...
Yeah.
So he's obviously very aware that his head got very heavy at one point.
So that's the thing. They didn't name Gohan's new form in the film at all. Yeah.
So it must just be through the
Toriyama, after it's been released and stuff, just saying the name of it. But it is officially confirmed to be in Beast Gohan. But yeah, that's kind of how the film ends. They're all just like happy that everything's happened. They have a big pat down moment. Dr. Hedo goes up to Bulma and just says, "Look, I know things are wrong, but can I please work for you?" And Bulma's just saying, "What can you do about skin routines?" He's like, "Well, my skin's..."
They originally said they're gonna hand themselves into the police.
Yeah. And Krillin's just like, "Nope, they don't want you back at that prison. Let's all just pretend it didn't happen." Well, he didn't say that. He's a policeman after all. But I think it was Gohan who said, "Let's just pretend it didn't happen." It's better for everyone. And Krillin agrees. He's hiding criminals, I guess, at this point. Bad policeman.
Although Android 18 does not like Gamma 1.
No, but I guess they've got that Android rivalry.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the fact that she doesn't like androids, which I can understand, because I think she has a lot of like issues with the whole android thing. But she never wanted to be an android, though, did she?
No.
No. Which is understandable.
Yeah, but Bulma agrees to let Heeroh and Gamma 1 come work for her. She's letting Gamma 1 be like security. That's what she said. And then Pan shows off to everyone that she can fly finally, and Piccolo's happy, Gohan's happy.
Piccolo agrees that now he's officially going to let her move on to the next stage of training. He said he's seen enough. And then she flies, and then it goes into a like first person view of Pan flying. She flies past she flies past everyone, but she flies towards Trunks and Goten as they go to fusion, and they do it correctly. However, before you see them do it, you're past them, so you don't get to see what it looks like. Yeah,
because the fingers aligned perfectly. It was right. They would have turned it a proper Team Gotenks, but you don't see it. It's just teased. And then that's it. That's how the film ends. All happy. Everything back to normal. Until the post-credit scene. Stick around for after the credits, because there is some credits for like 4 or 5 minutes where you do get some good artwork shown on screen. But yeah, there is a post-credit scene where it's Goku and Vegeta finishing their fight. They've been going at it this whole time, I guess in real time. So they're both exhausted. They're going in slow motion for the final punch. Like, they both
it's less slow motion, more they are so exhausted. Their punches are moving so slowly.
But yeah, they both hit each other, but Goku falls backwards to the floor, and he's like, he got me. And then Vegeta just goes, yes, and falls backwards as well.
Finally did it.
I beat Kakarot. Falls down to the floor.
And he's officially declared the winner. Declares Vegeta the winner.
Kind of. He's like, well, I guess Vegeta won. Okay. And then you see Brawley and is it the
Fish
orange
boy.
guy? Yeah, I don't know what his name is.
But
they're crying just because they're so impressed and jealous, I guess, of Brawley jealous. Orange fish guy just kind of impressed with the feats of strength that they've both managed. And yeah, Whis finally like calls Bulma back and is like, oh, sorry I missed your call. I know it's been a few hours, but I hope everything's okay. And Bulma's like, yeah, I had some food for you and stuff, but it's went cold now. Yeah. It's went cold now, and it's like, oh, did anything else happen? And Bulma's just like, oh, you wouldn't believe it, but it doesn't matter now.
Guess you'll never know.
Yeah. He's like, okay.
He's now like proper curious and everything. But it's just like, oh well. Yeah. Pity, never mind.
And then that's how it ends. It just zooms in on Whis' face, like the Warner Brothers like blackness onto the face, and it's just like, whoop, okay, end of film.
Done.
And that's it.
End.
Yeah. Love the film. It was really good. And I've seen people online already saying, it's disappointing, I didn't really like it. It's just a repeat of Bio Broly. Where's Goku and Vegeta? It's like, just give other characters a chance, goddammit. You don't like Piccolo? How dare you? You're not a true Dragon Ball fan. He gets his moment of shine. Not everything's about Goku and Vegeta. Come on.
I loved it. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
I love me some Piccolo.
Me too.
He's a boy. He's an absolute boy. You got some Vegeta. You got some Goku. They were there for a bit.
Yeah, solid 10-15 minutes probably of the hour and a half long film. But
I loved it. Like there was loads of Piccolo, and I think he needed some love. He needed some love, and he got it.
Yeah.
And Gohan, everyone's saying like, oh well, he just goes to school and stuff now, and it's boring. Well, it's like, well, he wasn't there. He was.
Yeah.
He's definitely doing some stuff there for you. Like you've got him back.
Yeah, we had 2 new forms in this film with Piccolo and Gohan. We had Vegeta finally getting a big win. We had more story progression with Brawley actually training. It's like, what more do you want in an hour and a half? Like, come on, there was a big new villain when Max Cell. There was 2 new incredible side characters in the Gammas as well that were introduced as huge fighters. We've seen more of Bulma taking a bit of center stage as well. And we've seen Team Trunks and Goten as well. Like, how much do you want in an hour and a half film? Like, you can't always be satisfied. Like, what else do you need? Come on. But, yeah, loved it. And you need to see it if you haven't already. Yeah. It would be so much worth seeing it in cinema.
There's much more character development in this than in Brawley.
Yeah, 100%.
Things like that. Yeah.
Brawley was just another fight.
In Brawley and Battle of the Gods.
Yeah.
Like in any of the films, I would say this is a character development film.
I mean, we were reintroduced to Brawley in the Brawley film. Like, he was a brand new character, and we got to see a bit of his backstory and then fighting and see that he's super strong. But there wasn't really much character progression in Goku and Vegeta. There wasn't any character progression in Frieza at all. And it's like, okay, there's a big fight, and yeah, it's really good animation and stuff. A really good film overall, but you know, that's kind of it. With this, there's so much character progression, there's so much story told, there's still so many unanswered questions going forward. It's like, yeah, just be satisfied.
I enjoyed it. I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So go see the film if you haven't already. It is definitely worth the time to see. If you can experience it in the cinema, it is well worth it, especially that big screen experience. If you can see 4DX as well, even better. That really helps the experience. But yeah, that's going to be it.
However, if you are sensitive to motion sickness,
there is a lot. Yeah, maybe skip the 4DX, but definitely still go see it anyway. But this has been a long video, so
yes, I had a feeling it would be. To be honest.
Let's move on now to the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And now it is time for the Hall of Fame.
And now it is time for the Hall of Fame, where, as every week, myself and Heeroh battle it out to see who is most worthy for this week's place in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
So, last week, it was the best ending to an arc. And I chose the Cell Saga.
Mm-hmm.
You chose the World's Martial Arts Tournament from the ending of Original Dragon Ball.
Yep.
And you have the results.
I do have the result, and the winner with 80% of the vote is the Cell Saga. So you get another win. I think that's four in a row.
Is that 4?
I don't know if it's 3 or 4. It might be 4.
We're just bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, so yeah, I need to come back. I need to get a win. But yeah, what is the topic this week?
Yeah, we're going more relevant at the minute, going up to date, and we're keeping on topic with Roshi's rant. And I think, as everyone will no doubt be seeing it this week, it's going to be the best moment from a side character in the superhero movie.
Yeah, so the side characters we should specify is pretty much anyone apart from Piccolo and Gohan.
Yes, since it's basically their movie.
Yeah.
Which feels very strange to say. Yeah, being them being the main characters.
Yeah, but everyone else is in limit.
Yeah.
Any moment that any other character did is in contention, and since you won last week, you get to go first. So, what is your pick?
Yes, for me, it's got to be the shining hero moment, which is Gamma 2 sacrifice.
Yeah, it's a big moment.
Yeah, it's such a fantastic moment towards the end of the film. I mean, he just goes out like such a badass. And it's just, he's such a brilliant character throughout the entire film. He becomes, I think he'll become a fan favorite. The more
Which is a shame, since he died. R.I.P. Spoilers. R.I.P. It's too late to say spoilers.
So for him to go out in such a way is, it's like a case of live long enough to become a villain. Well, he didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew it wasn't. He went like he's like his beforehand he was just like, I have to do this. The way it looks, the visuals are fantastic. It flies up, the way he comes roaring down, he powers down on Cell. It looks great. He's flying in, plus he blowing off Cell's arm, and just the impact it has. And I mean, and even though it doesn't kill Cell or anything like that, it's just a powerful moment in the film. And even the after effects, like afterwards, like when Gamma 1 and Dr. Heeroh they're like checking on him later, and he's passed away and everything. Like it's
he gets snapped.
Yeah, it's like it's an impactful part of the film, and I just think everything about it is just good. It looks good, feels good. You're really rooting for it. It's very hype. I just think it's an excellent moment of the film, and it's just all well written. It's well designed. I don't think there's nothing bad about it. And even though it's not successful, you wouldn't expect it to be successful. You would never expect it to be the culmination of the film and the end part of the film. But
it feels like it could be at the moment.
Yeah. It's
like,
still
is
very.
Is he going to do this?
Yeah, like it still feels like a very hype moment in the film, and it's a hell of a way for a side character to go out because he still does some damage. So it doesn't feel like a waste of a character. Because you could say he is just a side character, but he still feels like he has an impact. Yeah. And I think for a newly introduced character, one that is very popular, and I think he will, he has become very popular, even though he's like lots of people haven't seen the film. People do like him already. I think it's an excellent way for him to go out. Because you can't just keep all these characters all the time. So for him to go that way is an excellent way, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Fantastic way. I was very hype when he did it. I just thought it looked great. So for me, that's my moment.
Yeah, fair enough. It's a strong pick that I've got a challenge against this week. And I actually have three. So I'm going to go in reverse order here. And, spoil the other two before I get to my pick. So my third choice pick is Pan finally flying. The feel-good moment. Pan learns to fly. She's showing off to everyone. After the start of the film with Piccolo not being able to teach her how to fly, she's not ready yet. She finally gets there. It's like, yes! She gets the feel-good moment.
That is a feel-good moment.
That was my third choice because that's not going to win. Let's face it, that's not going to win. No one's going to vote for that over self-sacrifice.
No one cares enough about Pan just yet.
Yeah. My second nomination, it was a close second, but it is the second one I'm going for, is the fan service of Bulma getting college girl buns. I think
not a terrible choice.
There's a lot of incels who vote in these polls, so I think there's a chance that could have been a winner. But no, I can't pick that. Oh, can I? No, I can't. I can't pick that. So we're not going with Bulma's buns. They're on the back burner. They're second choice. But my pick for this week's Hall of Fame for best side character moment is Vegeta getting the win. Finally, over Goku. He got the big win, even if it was slightly controversial. They didn't power up there to fight, but they had like an hour-long fight or whatever that you didn't even see. But it counted as a win. Vegeta beat Goku in a fight. So that's my pick.
That is a very good pick,
Yeah, it is a good pick because Vegeta and Goku are usually the main characters, but in this film they definitely aren't. They are side characters.
They are very much side characters.
They're in limits, so yeah. I think
I 100% agree. Yeah. I was thinking of picking it, and I don't know. I just thought for me, it was just like, yeah, our boy Vegeta, he got his win, and that was great and everything like that. It's just I don't know. I was happy for our boy Vegeta, and I was like, yes. But I saw that Gamma 2 moment, and I was just like,
yeah,
that's hype.
It is hype, and I'm banking on the fact that I think there's a lot of Vegeta fans.
Yeah.
Who will see Vegeta finally got his win. They're hanging on to that thread. Like, yes, but Vegeta did beat Goku that one time. They're going to be talking about it for the next 20 years. Because let's face it, Vegeta's not beating Goku again ever, probably.
No.
But they'll be hanging on to that.
I've already seen people say that but because Goku laughed, he let Vegeta beat him.
Yeah, potentially.
It's like no, he didn't. He's just happy that Vegeta's happy.
Yeah,
like,
I mean they were both exhausted. Yeah,
like no, he didn't let him win. Just accept that Vegeta won. Like just let it. Just accept it. Let it into your heart.
Is there really a winner? Like they both hit each other at the same time. Goku just falls first, and that counts as a win for Vegeta, even though he also falls and can't move anymore. It's a very slim win, but it counts apparently just because Vegeta was on his feet longer, I guess.
Yeah.
But they're both exhausted. They're both down and out. No energy left.
In a 10 count doesn't. I don't know how boxing works. So no, I can't call that.
Yeah, he's out for the count. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting vote, this one.
Yeah. Just
because there is a lot of Vegeta fans. But arguably, you know, even though Gamma 2 is popular, it's definitely not as popular as Vegeta is. But that was a very, very cool moment. The entire thing of him self-sacrificing to try and defeat Cell. Obviously,
basically, it's going to be film hype versus
character
Vegeta hype.
Yeah, because that moment, the Gamma moment, was definitely a better moment. But it's what the people like. Do people like the fact that Gamma sacrificed himself, or do people like the fact that Vegeta got the win?
Because I mean, if for those who are watching this now, who have seen the film, seeing the actual win itself, the win itself is very boring.
Yeah,
nothing actually happens. He just falls over.
It's a post-credit scene. Some people would have walked out of the cinema without even noticing it's there.
Yeah, it's not actually a fight at the end. It's literally falling over.
Yeah.
Like, if it was a fight and a defeat, I would have been voting for it. But it's literally just like a fall over. So it's like...
Yeah. Marvel has ruined films forever now because every film needs a post-credit scene, and anime is no different because this is a post-credit scene. It's not even... Does that count as part of the film if it's a post-credit scene? Yeah. The film is finished. This is just a little extra on the end. But yeah.
Vegeta's one's not canon.
Oh, imagine if that's the next big argument. Oh no, but it was after the film technically, so does it even count as being canon? Like, it wasn't part of the film, sort of. Oh my god, there will be people who argue that. There will be. But yeah, those are the two votes for this week's Hall of Fame. What is the better side character moment? Is it Gamma 2 with the self-sacrifice, or is it Vegeta picking up the win finally against Goku? Those are the two votes, and that is what you can vote for. So you can see our social medias right below my face right here. Go click on them, go vote in the polls, and we will find out next week who enters the Hall of Fame. But for now, let's move on to the hot take.
Let's go.
Hot take.
This is the hot take, the final segment of the podcast, where usually I look online and find a hot take that someone has submitted into some forum somewhere deep on the internet, which we argue about, talk about, discuss, and then people flame us in the comments for not listening to the video first. But this week, the hot take is actually by us, and it is by the newest manga chapter that's just been released, which reveals that Frieza has returned. And basically, the hot take this week is it worth bringing back Black Frieza? So let's talk.
Frieza, who is now black, apparently.
Yeah, he's black now.
Yeah.
Just in colour, not by race.
Fully named, I don't know. Like
this is the second black character in Dragon Ball now. We had Goku Black, and now we have Black Frieza. So hopefully we can get Trunks returning. We have Teen Trunks now. Hopefully he can come along and again shout, "Don't shoot, he's not black." I want that to return. Such an iconic line now.
They're not great with these namings and these...
No, surely, I know it's dubbed and they've got to like translate the Japanese and stuff, but surely someone could have seen that line and think, maybe we should reword it slightly, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's so many more things they could have said which keeps the same tone. Like, don't shoot. That's not Goku Black.
Yeah. Like, that's one of the most mean sentences in Dragon Ball.
Don't shoot. That's not the enemy.
Yeah.
Or whatever. You didn't have to say don't shoot. He's not black.
Yeah.
Come on.
What is it? No. What is it? The exact phrase: "Don't shoot. This man is not black." It's the exact phrase that the Trunks says.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe that they actually left that in. Like, that's so bad.
Yeah. So stupid. Blue Lives Matter and all that. Oh god. But
like,
basically,
and now they've chosen this name for Frieza, which is just.
I mean, okay, fine. You can have the color of Frieza. You can recolor him to be black. That's fine. Whatever, new form. But it's maybe a poor choice. You should have made him purple or something. Purple's a cool dark color that you can use.
Yeah.
But anyway,
if you're going to use that color, is the name like
the name? Yeah, you don't need to call him that. Just call him like Dark Frieza or something.
Like but I've seen a lot of people suggest like things like Onyx Frieza and stuff like that.
Oh, Onyx Frieza could be a cool one.
Yeah.
Although that's going into Pokemon territory, and I don't know if they can trademark Onyx.
Well, no, because Onyx is a type of like.
Yeah, I know it's a type of like stone or whatever, but I don't know. People might complain just because of Pokemon.
Yeah. But anyway,
which
Frieza himself coming back.
Just on the topic of Pokemon fun fact in a Dragon Ball podcast. The Korean name of Onyx is Longstone. And I think that's a great name for Onyx. In Korean, he's just called Longstone because he is a Longstone. But anyway, back to Dragon Ball. Let's do a quick recap of the chapter. Well, the ending of the chapter at least. So, of course, Gas has been like the main villain of the entire, the past like however many chapters at this point. The big battle has been going on forever. Gas made a wish.
It's a ridiculously long arc.
One of the longest arcs in Dragon Ball history, I think. But yeah, Gas made a wish at some point to be the strongest person in the universe. And yeah, they've been going on that. Goku and Vegeta have been constantly getting beat down by him and losing. Even in their biggest forms and stuff, Ultra Ego, Master Ultra Instinct, all that stuff, they still can't beat him. And they're going to war again. And out of nowhere, Frieza returns in his new shiny black form. And he literally puts his hand on Gas's head and just melts him. And it's like,
it is very graphic as well.
Yeah, he turns to bone and dust. I was like, okay. Right, well, this has been going on forever. And just when we think Goku or Vegeta is finally going to get a win, Frieza is back after being gone since Brawley arc, I guess. Well, in manga terms, the Tournament of Power, since they haven't done the Brawley arc in the manga yet. So since the Tournament of Power, Frieza's been gone and never seen again, and he returns here and just beats Gas in one shot. That is incredible. And then he sees Vegeta and Goku, charges at them, punches them both in the stomach at the same time, and they're both down. And Frieza reveals he's been in a different universe, in a different dimension. He found, like, it was one of the planets that he conquered a long time ago. They've got like their version of a hyperbolic time chamber where time is slower inside and all this stuff. And he's been in there training for 10 years. And, we've always speculated what Frieza would be like if he actually trained, because he unlocked the golden form after training for just 3 months before he went to invade Earth in his new golden form. And this time he's been training for 10 whole years. And he one-shot Gas. He took out Goku and Vegeta in one punch each. And it's like, this is the Frieza that should have came back in the Golden Frieza arc. But instead he got embarrassed and that form is useless. And yes, he is back to being the strongest at the moment.
See, this is the Frieza that we've talked about so many times, and it's just like, I mean, we've addressed this in I think it was literally like the last podcast or the podcast before, where I'm just saying that like they've made a joke of him, and it's like they should have just not had him involved at all anywhere, and then done this.
There's a bit of a sad truth that has to be admitted here, because we had Frieza in the Frieza arc, of course, and when he died because of Trunks at the very beginning of the Android arc, he was forgotten about and swept under the rug and quickly moved on to. But we thought, okay, that's the end of Frieza, the best villain in Dragon Ball, we're not going to see him again. And everyone accepted that at the time during the Dragon Ball Z days. Just thought, okay, that's the end of Frieza. And then Dragon Ball Super came back, and they decided after, well, like 15, almost 20 years or whatever, 15 years I think, we're bringing back Frieza. And they bring him back with a new form, and everyone's hyped because he is the best Dragon Ball villain of all time. He's one of the best anime villains of all time. We're bringing him back! And they give him a new form, they made him look cool, but he didn't really do much.
When he got bodied, he was made a joke of,
yeah.
And he was immediately defeated.
Yeah, but they give him a redeeming factor in the Tournament of Power. He has some really good moments in there. He survives until the end. He is an MVP of the fight. And yeah, all good. We thought, okay, good. Frieza gets his comeuppance, well, not comeuppance, but he gets his shine and light moment. He's strong again, he's powerful, he's on par, he stays until the end. He's good. Frieza's still around as well, he's not dead. And then he goes off into the sunset, and then they release the Brawley film.
And he becomes a chew toy for half.
Yeah, Frieza is instantly back straight away. If anything, I think it was a bad idea just bringing him back for this film. It made sense to give some sort of backstory to Brawley, but also I don't think he needed to be in it. I think they could have had the Frieza Force trying to find Frieza without having Frieza in the film at all. And then, you know, Brawley and Paragus could have still got found by some Frieza grunts, report back to the ship, and everything could have happened all the same. You know, we don't really need Frieza in the film at all. The only thing that Frieza does is he kills Paragus. But they could have found some other way to do that. Maybe a stray beam by Brawley could have killed Paragus, whatever. But Frieza in this film is just thrown around and embarrassed, and that is the last look we've had of Frieza. Which is not a good ending for Frieza. Of course, he scurries off into the distance, but now he's back and he's finally trained. But the sad reality is, this will be the last time we see Frieza. Let's face it. After this whole, because there's going to be a month break with the manga, they're putting it on hold, and it's going to come back in October now. This is like kind of the end of the gas arc with this, and they're going on a mini hiatus for a month, and they're going to be back to start the next arc after this. But with Frieza being back, this is the final showing of Frieza. This is Frieza's final showdown. He is insanely powerful. He's actually trained, and for a long time as well, 10 years. Like, he got a new form after 3 months with Golden Frieza. This time he's trained for 10 years. He took out Gas with one punch. He took out Master Ultra Instinct Goku and Ultra Ego Vegeta in one punch each. Like, he is a beast right now. Unstoppable, potentially. And the one thing of note is that like Goku asks, is Frieza the strongest warrior in the universe? Or in the universes? And Whis like, potentially, but I don't think so. And I think a new warrior could have just been born. Like, a new potential strongest person could have just been born. And that's kind of how the chapter ends. And it's like, So they've hinted that there's a strongest warrior, and potentially Frieza, but probably not. Let's face it, Whis has said probably not. So it's like, there's someone stronger than Frieza? Who is it? And my theory is that it's Oob. Which is sad to say. It's so disappointing if you think about it. But it makes sense. They need to bring Oob back in at some point because he is canon because of the stupid ending to Dragon Ball Z. It's been however many years since the end of the Buu saga now. A couple of years at least. Is Pan born at the end of the Buu saga? No, right? Or is she?
Not sure.
I can't remember. But anyway, Goten and Trunks are both there at the end of the Buu saga. They're still kids. And by this superhero film, which is the newest piece of content, they are older, but Piccolo even says, what? I know I haven't seen you for a while, but it hasn't been that long. So they're a lot older. Pan's older. So this is around the time that Oob will be introduced. So it would make sense because the manga is slightly different timelines because there is no Brawley, there is no superhero film. But it has been a while. Oob hasn't been reintroduced. He does need to be at some point. Oob is still a kid at the end of Z. If Whis is saying that someone could have just been born who was the strongest, who else could it be? It's probably him, which is underwhelming, but I've got a feeling it will be, you know. I think this is how he gets reintroduced.
That would be painful. That would cause me physical pain.
Yeah.
That's the case.
Yeah. But it just makes sense to me.
I just don't trust Whis.
Yeah, this could be Whis's bad guy heel turn
Like,
moment.
what? Like, I don't know, just why doesn't... Whis isn't a good guy. He's not one of the good guys at all.
No, he's neutral completely.
Yeah, he's absolutely chaotic neutral. 100%. He has no interest in, like, in protecting Goku and all that. Like, he barely that... he's not really interested in beers, to be fair. Like, he literally serves the angels, and that's about it. And like, he'll pal up with you if you get some food and stuff like that, and he's fine being acquaintances with you, but he's not a moral arbiter by any means.
No.
This is why he's not saying like potential. This is probably why he's saying potentially and stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
not exactly going out his way to find out for you.
Yeah, because I think he could have easily just if he knows Frieza isn't the strongest in the universe, and he thinks someone just been born, he could say, yes, this specific person over here in this part of the universe has just been born. This guy, it's him. He is the strongest. It's him right there. Go look at him. But he hasn't. He's been very vague, and he's not revealing anything.
Because, I mean, he can find out a lot of stuff with that staff of his.
Yeah, the staff of unlimited power. It does everything, apparently. It can revive people, it can bring planets back, it can reverse time, it can do anything. It can be used as a mobile phone. So, yeah, the staff does everything.
I just don't trust Whis. I love Whis. Don't trust him, though.
No.
Like,
he could be hinting at himself being the strongest. But, I think that's unlikely. I think he's too much of a fan favourite to turn bad, personally. Yeah. Although I wouldn't mind personally seeing him turn bad. I think he's too much of a fan favorite to turn him bad. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I can't see any of the like. I can't see him going evil or like that. No, I think they'll keep him about for a long time. Him and Beerus.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why Oob, unless they're planning on bringing in some completely new villain, which. I mean, they've just reintroduced Frieza. They've got to do something with Frieza. But if they're saying that Frieza's not the strongest, it's like, why bring him back right now? Why bring him back right now?
I just don't get why they... I don't know. Like, I literally just think they've done... I don't get why they've built up this... It seems like, by the sound of it, they've done this whole gas thing for so long that they didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, and it seems almost like I don't want to say underwhelming ending, but everyone was expecting either Goku or Vegeta to finally get the win.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're not the manga readers or anything like that, but it seemed to be I noticed a lot of people online said it seemed to be they were getting a bit tired of the gas arc, like it was just going on and on and on forever and ever. Yeah. And it was just going on for too long, and then to just randomly introduce Frieza to end it. It was just like they just didn't know how to end it, or did they know all along this was how it was going to end?
Maybe. Another reason why I think it's Oob, which makes sense, is the fact that yes, we used to say another fighter could have just been born. Yes, they're saying he's more stronger than Frieza, potentially. It makes sense to be Oob because it makes sense for Goku to hunt him down, enter a world martial arts tournament to find him, to train him, so that Oob can be the one to take on Frieza, since Oob is insanely powerful in the reincarnation of Majin Buu. It makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense. Goku's going to train Oob to unlock his potential because Oob is the most powerful person, and Oob is going to be the one who needs to take down Frieza because Goku and Vegeta aren't powerful enough. That's going to be it. I've figured out the story. That's it.
So you think they planned this all, like, what, 30 years ago?
No, I don't. I think they've had to change the story so much just to fit in Oob because they made such a blunder with the ending of Z. That this is the only reason why they didn't continue the story after Z, because they realized that was a bad ending. We can fit in so much more stuff.
I think they'll just retcon it and hope people forgot about Oob.
I don't think they will. I think this is the leading to Oob. It makes sense. They need someone to be Frieza. They didn't specify that the strongest person in the universe is a bad guy. So yeah, I think Goku's going to take him under the wing, train him up, probably with Brawley and Vegeta. And yeah, Oob's going to be the one to take out Frieza. Have I cracked the code? Have I done it?
Imagine you're right.
Should I go to a bookies now? Should I find somewhere I can bet online? Is Oob the next strongest person?
Bet on Dragon Ball. You can bet on everything, to be fair.
You probably can. I want to find a betting website. I can bet on it. Oob is this mystery strongest person. Putting a bet down. But yeah, I don't know. Was it a good idea to bring Frieza back?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it was a weird way to end it by the sound of it.
Yeah, it's just Frieza didn't.
It seems like a very out of nowhere type of thing.
Yes, well, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, like from what people have been talking about this arc, to then just randomly chuck him in out of absolutely nowhere, and now the arc's over, and that's it. He literally came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
And now it's done.
Yeah, Frieza was embarrassed. He isn't dead. They did need to bring him back at some point. They've finally done it.
Is now the time, though?
Yeah.
Like, it's a cool twist, but after that entire arc, after such a long arc, to be like, haha, and now it was me.
It's the shock factor, though, because Gas was insanely powerful. He wished to be the strongest person in the universe, which, again, makes sense for Oob. Oob wouldn't have been born at the time of the wish. Frieza was in a different universe dimension. So he would have been the strongest person in the universe because Oob wasn't around yet. Oob was born. He is the new strongest. Frieza comes along and he isn't the strongest. At least doesn't think so. At least because he's like, well, someone else is just being born and he seems pretty strong. It's Oob, I'm telling you. But bringing Frieza back with a new form, I'm all for it. It needed to happen at some point. It gives massive shock factor for the end of this manga chapter, I guess, arc completely. Do I want him to get beat by Oob if Oob is the person? No. But they'll write Oob as a good character. I have faith they'll make Oob good somehow. Please, please, make Oob good somehow.
I don't like shock factor just for the sake of shock factor.
I don't mind it in this case. I don't mind it.
You just like it because it's made Frieza good again.
No, it's because they didn't follow what everyone was expecting. Because Frieza or Vegeta, not Frieza, Goku or Vegeta always gets the big win. They always overcome the enemy at the end of the day. But this time, the enemy's being beaten by a different enemy. And I was like, I like that. They've pulled a swerve on everyone, and it's a good swerve. This enemy who had wished to be the strongest actually isn't the strongest. How? And they've explained it already, and it makes sense. And Frieza's back. Finally. Good Frieza. Like a strong Frieza. And this is going to be...
Why couldn't this new, strong, good Frieza look different? Why does he have to look exactly the same?
Yeah,
why
he's just recolored.
Give him a different model instead of just a recolor?
I agree with that. I agree. They could have made him look different. Give him a different name, which hasn't been made into a meme already. But they didn't. And...
like... It's ridiculous that they haven't changed the way he looks.
Yeah.
Like, he's so ridiculously more powerful, and it's just like, haha, but I got slightly recolored.
It's at the point, though, where he's like such an iconic look, where it's like, yeah, I kind of get it. It's like, imagine if they changed Goku, like they changed his hairstyle or how he's built. It's like, you can't do that. He's too iconic. You can't change how he looks, and Frieza's kind of fell into that now as well. His final form is iconic. You can't change that.
I feel like you can add something to him rather than just reshade him.
Yeah, but they even did it with Piccolo's new transformation. He still looks like Piccolo. He's just orange now and slightly bigger.
I think you can add a little something to him, like even like I don't know, like like you can still keep the core of him and just add a little bit extra.
Yeah, maybe, but
Like,
I
maybe
think that's
even
probably
add
why.
clothes to the dude or something. Like, how?
He's an alien who doesn't care about showing some skin. Come on. He got rid of that Frieza
Piccolo
armor after his
wears
first
clothes.
form. Yeah, that's true. Maybe he feels a bit self-conscious about his body. You don't know that. Don't judge him.
True. But no, they should have done something a bit different.
Yeah.
Just a reshading is just not good enough.
I agree, but I think that's probably the reason why, is that he's just too iconic at this point. And for kids, if you see a new figure on the shelf, even if he is black now, people will recognize and be like, is that Frieza? Oh wow, okay. Because if he looked completely different, people are gonna not even realize it's him.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason. But I agree. I personally wish he would have been different, but I understand why. He's just recolored. Do I think it's good? Yeah, I do think it's good, because he did need to come back at some point, but this will be the final stand of Frieza. This next arc involving him.
Definitely needs to be.
Yeah. Even if it goes on for way too many chapters like this gas arc, this will be Frieza's final stand. And once it's finally over, I doubt we will ever see Frieza again. But that's fine, because he's been brought back twice now, and yeah, sometimes no matter how
he needs to go out like it needs to be very difficult. It needs to go out Namek style. Like it can't be like it can't be like Resurrection F, where it's like you have been utterly embarrassed, like you are defeated, it is done. Like it needs to be like seriously climactic.
Even Trunks defeating him was embarrassing, because he survived Namek against Goku. That should have been how Frieza died, but he didn't. He survived somehow and got put back together, and then Trunks is just like swish 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 swish, blast, dead. And I was like, okay, androids are coming. Frieza was here. I was like, okay, let's move on though. And that was an unfair ending to Frieza, so I'm glad they brought him back. Even if he was bad, I'm glad they brought him back into the show, in the limelight. But he needs a very climactic ending, something epic, something on a grand scale, like a show ending thing, like a series ending moment for Frieza. That is what you need, and this could be it. This final arc with Black Frieza, this could be the show ender. You know, they finally defeat Frieza, and yeah, who knows how? Maybe they all need to team up with the strongest characters in every universe. Maybe they bring in Jiren, Toppo, Brawley all together to help out Ribrianne and all the rest of the strongest warriors of every universe. But imagine if Frieza is this powerful, he beat Gas in one punch. He took out UI, Goku, and Ultra Ego Vegeta in one punch. Maybe they need the help of all the strongest characters from every universe. They go up into a team. Frieza's beating them down one by one, and Oob is the savior of the thing, whatever. But that could be it. If Oob is this potential strongest person in the universe, that could be how the show ends as a whole. Yeah,
I somehow doubt we'll end the show, but no, I see what you mean. It needs to be that level of like epicness.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah,
Frieza deserves this epic send-off, and this is it. They've introduced him again for the third time now. This is his ending.
The third time's the charm.
It is. He gets his final blow-off, and that will be the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So am I happy they brought him back? Yeah, I am. Is it the best way to bring him back? I like the swerve. I don't like the new form, and I don't like the name. But overall, I'm happy he's back.
70%, I'll give it.
Yeah.
70%. I think they they needed to bring him back powerful. He needed to be a beast. I don't know if bringing him back at the end of this huge arc of somebody else was the best idea.
I like it personally.
I can see why you would like it. I think fair enough. It's not terrible. It just feels like a bit random. But I can see why you would like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, not terrible. 6 or 7 out of 10. I'll give it 6 or 7 out of 10 for
I
that.
think he's proved himself. Because if, they ended the gas arc just the way that people were expecting with Vegeta and Goku to get a win, and then Frieza turned up again, even if he said, I've been training for 10 years, I've got this new form, pow, goes all black. Then it's like, this is just Golden Frieza all over again. He turns up, he's been training, and then he gets beat.
How else could he introduce himself?
Exactly. Unless he came in and just killed Brawley. Just like, bang, dead.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, okay.
Unfortunate.
But yeah, they're not going to kill off a main good guy character, but they have defeated a villain with another villain, so I like that. But anyway, I'm really curious to know what people think about this, so please leave some comments. Are you happy with the return of Frieza? Do you think like me? Do you think it might be Oob that's hinted at? I want to know people's thoughts and opinions. And do you think it was a good idea to bring Frieza back in this way? Let us know. But that is going to be it for this podcast, this uber long special edition of the podcast. This is like an hour longer than our previous longest podcast. So well done to us for just lasting this long.
It's a superhero version, that's why.
It is. So, well, congratulations to us. Well done, Ajoten, for lasting this long. Well done to me as well. And well done to you, the viewers.
Superhero special, eh?
Yeah. If you lasted this long to the very end, please give yourself a pat on the back. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like it up. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. Go check out our social medias for the polls for the Hall of Fame. And other than that, we will see you all next time.
See ya.